When global military giants come to mind, you're probably thinking, America, China, Russia, the big three, right? But what if I told you the dark horse of 2026 isn't who you'd expect? Enter the United Kingdom. Yep, that rainy island known for crumpets, 007, and perpetual grumbling about drizzle is quietly assembling one of the planet's most lethal military arsenals. While everyone's eyes are glued to the spectacle of superpowers flexing muscle, Britain's been operating in stealth mode, honing its edge, piece by calculated piece. If modern warfare is chess, the UK's already 3 moves from checkmate, silently arranging its knights and bishops on every continent. By 2026, the UK ranks solidly in the world's top 6 military forces. Defense budgets are projected to hit £62.2 billion for 2025-26, climbing to £73.5 billion by 2028-29. That's a 3.8% real terms annual increase, making it one of NATO's most ambitious military expansion programs right now. Back in February 2025, PM Keir Starmer laid out the roadmap. Defense spending rises to 2.5% of GDP by 2027, with aspirations of hitting 3% during the following parliament. The government's locked in a commitment to reach 3.5% of GDP by 2035, matching fresh NATO benchmarks. This isn't empty rhetoric. The government will fully fund our increased investment in defense by slashing foreign aid from 0.5% of gross national income down to 0.3% come 2027. It's a brutal call, but in a world getting more volatile by the minute, it's the pragmatic move. North of £15 billion is flooding into nuclear upgrades, cyber defenses, and next-generation warfare tech. Think hypersonic weapons, quantum-level encryption, and AI-driven combat systems. Britain's not playing catch-up with tomorrow's dangers. It's planning to land the first blow, knockout punch and all. June 2025 saw the release of the UK's Strategic Defence Review, the first one under a Labour administration since 2003. Spearheaded by Lord Robertson, former NATO chief, this document wasn't some dry policy paper. It was a clarion call. The review declares that for the first time since the end of the Cold War, the UK faces multiple, direct threats to its security, prosperity, and democratic values. The answer? Shift into war-fighting mode. Build a deadlier, integrated force ready for what's coming. Every single one of the 62 recommendations got the green light, including a minimum of 6 brand new munitions plants, backed by £1.5 billion. £1 billion for domestic air and missile defense systems. £6 billion for munitions during this parliamentary term. The Digital Targeting Web, a £1 billion project set for 2027. £400 million UK Defence Innovation Fund. Defense Readiness Bill enabling rapid mobilization during wartime. The review makes crystal clear the unequivocal need for Britain to amp up its commitment to NATO and Euro-Atlantic defense. Now let's get into nuclear weapons, because there's no deterrent quite as effective as having warheads prowling the depths undetected. The Strategic Defence Review calls nuclear deterrence the bedrock of Britain's national security. The UK stands as one of just 2 European powers maintaining a nuclear stockpile, France being the other. Britain's upgrading its arsenal with the Astrea, a 21 thermonuclear warhead, technology so cutting-edge it makes previous generations look like sparklers at a county fair. These weapons are going on to Dreadnought-class submarines, massive stealth platforms engineered to guarantee the UK's retaliatory strike capacity never wavers. When it comes to attack submarines, Britain's joining forces with America and Australia to design and construct up to 12 SSN AUKUS nuclear-powered subs. The review commits funding to produce 1 SSN AUKUS submarine every year and a half. These aren't standard underwater craft. They're basically apex predators with military-grade firepower, maintaining dominance over critical ocean passages. Combined, these systems position the UK as a nuclear pillar not only for its own defense, but for the entire Western coalition. NATO first. This isn't marketing spin. It's now core British military policy. The Strategic Defence Review locks in a NATO-first strategy as the foundation of defense planning. From spearheading NATO's Very High Readiness Joint Task Force to leading battle groups stationed in Estonia, Britain acts as the alliance's go-to enforcer across Eastern Europe. With conflict still tearing through Europe, NATO and the European theater dominate the review's focus. The much-hyped Indo-Pacific tilt from earlier strategies has been quietly shelved in favor of doubling down on Europe. But Britain's partnership portfolio extends way beyond NATO. The Five Eyes intelligence alliance puts London at the nerve center of worldwide intel sharing. Robust defense ties with Gulf nations, Japan, and Commonwealth partners cement the UK's position as a geopolitical bridge builder. After Brexit, plenty of analysts predicted Britain would fade into irrelevance. Instead, it's been jet-setting across the globe, mixing diplomacy with joint military drills. We're long past the era when military strength meant endless tank columns. The UK's modernization drive is transforming its armed forces into a genuine force multiplier. The 2025 Strategic Defense Review is going all in on modern combat. Artificial intelligence is getting woven into command infrastructure. Drone swarms have become routine in mission planning. The British Army is getting rebuilt to be slimmer, quicker, and exponentially deadlier. Drone framework is revolutionizing combat ops. 20% piloted, 40% autonomous and recoverable, and 40% disposable swarms. Round-the-clock munitions production facilities and quick-response strike platforms are coming online. The digital targeting web, backed by £1 billion and slated for 2027 delivery, will allow lightning-fast, synchronized combat decisions. And then there's the orbital dimension. UK Space Command is a critical component of Britain's strategy to track dangers, sync up missile defenses, and if necessary, take the battle beyond the atmosphere. The RAF is growing its 5th-gen F-35 inventory, fielding both A and B models. That versatility gives Britain adaptable nuclear delivery combined with carrier operations in a single platform. The Global Combat Air Program, a collaboration with Japan and Italy, targets deployment of a 6th-generation fighter around the mid-2030s. These stealth beasts will fly alongside unmanned escorts, using AI to crush opposition before hostile sensors even register a blip. Plus, with staging areas in Cyprus, the Falklands, Oman, and Brunei, the RAF can project power globally at a moment's notice. We're living in a time when conflicts can ignite with a keystroke. And in this domain, the UK operates as a covert titan. Recognized among the world's elite cyber powers, Britain wields tools ranging from crippling enemy networks to launching preemptive digital assaults. The Strategic Defense Review revealed plans for Cyber EM Command, merging cyber, electromagnetic, and information warfare operations. Then you've got soft power. British culture, entertainment, and international organizations project influence that hardware can't replicate. From Shakespeare to the Premier League to the BBC, Britain's cultural footprint carries serious weight. Despite all the advanced tech, there's one asset no algorithm can duplicate: real-world experience. The UK's got that in abundance. British forces haven't been cooped up in garrison duty. They've been deployed, engaged, tested, and proven effective. From Gulf War sands to Bosnia and Kosovo, from Iraq to Afghanistan, and from Libya to arming Ukrainian forces, Britain has kept a steady, active presence in worldwide military engagements. Some armed forces boast impressive specs on spreadsheets, but Britain's validated theirs in actual combat. British commanders don't merely draft plans, they execute them. Ukraine's conflict demonstrates this perfectly. Britain was among the earliest providers of offensive weaponry, delivering LAWs, extended-range artillery, and sophisticated air defense platforms. Even more significantly, it greenlit Ukrainian use of British-supplied missiles against Russian territory. Britain's standing doesn't derive from GDP or demographics. It stems from reliably appearing when situations get serious and remaining committed when others bail. Flashy hardware is just part of the equation. When emergencies unfold, preparedness determines outcomes. The Strategic Defense Review rolls out a whole-of-society framework, broadening involvement in national defense. This approach weaves together private enterprise, digital security professionals, first responders, supply chain operators, and ordinary citizens into a unified defense network. The Defense Readiness Bill will facilitate rapid activation of reserves and industrial capacity during wartime. If Britain encounters a serious threat, the whole country transforms into a tightly coordinated, digitally synchronized defensive system. The Royal Marines' Future Commando Force is tailored for swift strikes and stealth operations. Rapid deployment forces can touch down globally within 2 days. Even preparation is going digital with VR drills, AI-powered war simulations, and analytics-based readiness evaluations. This goes beyond war prep. It's about rendering Britain impenetrable, impossible to predict, and relentless in response. Military strength isn't solely about hardware quantity. It's about strategic positioning. Spanning from the South Atlantic through the Middle East to Southeast Asia, British military presence covers territory most nations double its size couldn't manage. Standing bases in Cyprus, Bahrain, Brunei, Kenya, Gibraltar, and the Falklands function as operational centers for missions and power projection. Across Europe, Britain stations forward position units in Estonia and Poland under NATO's Enhanced Forward Presence Initiative. These are combat-equipped, deployment-ready formations positioned for immediate response. The Carrier Strike Group, built around HMS Queen Elizabeth and HMS Prince of Wales, provides adaptable, mobile power projection capabilities. Large-scale multinational drills like Aurora, Cold Response, and Safe SAR-EA demonstrate Britain's ability to function flawlessly in frozen Arctic terrain, blistering desert heat, or maritime combat theaters. The British Army Training Unit in Kenya has instructed thousands of partner nation soldiers, while RAF squadrons maintain air patrols across the Baltics and Mediterranean. Meanwhile, Special Operations Forces, SAS and SBS, stay quietly active in various undisclosed locations, folding digital warfare and unmanned systems into classic operations. Britain's worldwide military footprint isn't about nostalgia for empire. It's about deterrence, flexibility, and sustained influence. Amid the madness of modern geopolitics, where social media feuds frequently eclipse actual conflicts, it's simple to overlook the quiet developments. But don't kid yourself. Rolling into 2026, Britain has been steadily assembling a war machine engineered for tomorrow's battles and operational right now. It combines what most nations can't: nuclear capability, planetary reach, proven combat credentials, cyber dominance, and cultural influence. With military budgets climbing to £62.2 billion in 2025-26 and tracking toward 2.5% of GDP by 2027, plus full implementation of all 62 Strategic Defense Review recommendations, Britain stopped chasing the pack. It's now leading it. Today's UK doesn't need to dominate oceans. It redirects them. Whether delivering critical aid to Ukraine, countering Russian threats in the Baltics, or pioneering advances in drone and cyber warfare, Britain operates well beyond its weight division. It's a dependable ally, a trustworthy coalition member, and, if you find yourself opposing it, a sophisticated threat with polished manners. It doesn't need volume. It simply shows up, typically early, generally prepared, invariably committed. So is Britain 2020 IISS most critical military power? Perhaps not the biggest, perhaps not the showiest, but possibly the most well-rounded. And when the next international emergency breaks out, don't be shocked if British forces arrive earliest, move fastest, and accomplish objectives with minimum drama and maximum effectiveness. Because ultimately, they didn't upgrade their military for show. They upgraded it for victory. You're watching the strategic front, where every strike tells its own story. See you on the next one.